All right, folks, welcome back to the TNT show. We just not just finished up, but week 12 is done. We're moving into week 13. Right at the top of the episode. So we're not really gonna talk about week 13. Not a ton of big games. Week 12 was very interesting. We got a lot to talk about. But after we finish recapping week 12, we're gonna jump straight into this week's bracket. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it.
Friday had some pretty good games. Oregon, well, not really good. Oregon clobbered Minnesota. Clemson beat Louisville. So the ACC's all over the place. They just kind of suck. Ohio State ran through UCLA. The best game I thought was, aside from Alabama getting beat, was the Texas A&M South Carolina game. I don't know what happened to South Carolina. I don't know how much money they gave Shane Beamer. But man, you were up 30 points and let Marcel Reed throw for 300 plus yards in the second half and come back and beat you by 1 point.
Yeah, no, somebody
That's
definitely pulled him. Somebody definitely pulled him to the side and said, "Hey, I got about 10 million that says you won't throw this game in the second half." They didn't score a point.
yeah. I don't know what happened. They didn't score a single point, not a field goal, not nothing. It's like they stopped playing. I mean, it just goes to show you, though. Texas A&M can score some points. They scored 30 in the second half and held South Carolina scoreless. So I don't know. So that was pretty much their, the game I think they needed.
Yeah,
Obviously Oklahoma beat Alabama. Alabama just turned the ball over too many times. You can't do that.
absolutely not.
Oklahoma really only scored nine. They gave Oklahoma what, 17 points?
Yep.
So, because they did their part. They just kept turning the ball over. Ty Simpson just struggled against a good defense. And again, y'all can't run the ball. Y'all can't seem to find a run game.
The run game was actually all right against Oklahoma, but it's like you said, the turnovers, that many turnovers at that, you're always going to come out on the losing end. It's not too many situations where you can just, turn the ball over that much and win.
Oklahoma actually got 17 points off those 3 turnovers, so they are actually scoring. So you were already in a hole.
Yeah.
Georgia, they dominated Texas. Texas looks bad. Georgia looked pretty good, especially that fourth quarter. They were tearing them up. They scored 20 points in the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Texas Tech, they blew out UCF. They let their linebacker play quarterback, running back. They're trying to stat pad him.
They're trying to get him to New York.
Yeah,
he could be there, though. He could definitely be there.
Because aside from him and a couple other people, really ain't nobody really doing too much. Ole Miss, they beat Florida. It was a good game. And then, after halftime, Florida just sucked. They didn't score a point after halftime.
Do you think somebody is going in there and telling these guys, like, hey, we need y'all to throw this game because
Florida looked so good. They were up at halftime. They were up 4. They were up 24-20 at halftime, and then they just didn't score a point after that. Lagway looked terrible. Because, the third quarter, they were scoreless, and then the fourth quarter, Ole Miss scored 14 points.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they're like, okay, what are y'all doing? Again, hey, Florida. Well, they don't have a coach. I don't know. Hey, Lagway, we got $10 million right here. If you can just, do what you did a couple weeks ago. Notre Dame ran through Pittsburgh. They beat the brakes off them.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love, he going to be in New York for sure. I wouldn't be shocked if he went. He been toting that thing. Um, Georgia Tech squeaked out a win. USC squeaked out a win. Again, Iowa was up 21-10, and then in the second half, you didn't score a single point. And
Yeah.
USC came back to beat them. Michigan squeaked out a win. South Florida got beat. They're out of the playoff again. And then Arizona beat Cincinnati. So let's just jump into week 13 right quick so we're gonna run the bracket as well. Honestly, not a whole lot going on here. I mean, Missouri, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got to win.
Yeah, must win game. I mean, they lose, they're out. They win, essentially, they're in.
Oregon, USC. Oregon again got to win. I mean, USC is not a terrible team. Vandy plays Kentucky. Vandy's got to win. They got to win their next two games. And they're not going to be. Kentucky might be a little easy. I don't know. You never know.
Do you think Vandy can sneak into the playoffs?
No,
No.
they're not in it. They're not in it now. I don't really know where they fell. Where were they?
I mean, I didn't see exactly where they were, but I think you're right though. There can only be 12 teams, and two of those are well, not two of those. I know for sure one of them is they got to give it to a group 5 because they have to be included. So
Yeah, because that's probably where they're knocking them out.
yeah,
Because they did lose to who did Vandy lose to? Alabama and Texas.
Alabama and Texas. Yep, that's it.
So yeah, that's yeah. Texas plays Arkansas. That game doesn't matter. Texas will probably run through Arkansas. Arkansas's got a good team. They should have coached. Really, they really do have a decent team.
Yeah, no, they do.
Tulane plays Temple. Tulane's obviously got to win to keep in the playoffs. Pittsburgh plays Georgia Tech. Pittsburgh just got blown out by Notre Dame, and they couldn't stop the run. So Georgia Tech might run through them pretty heavily. Florida, Tennessee, that game doesn't matter. Tennessee should probably win that. BYU plays Cincinnati. Again, BYU's got to win, and that's basically it. And that's it. I mean, everybody else plays, their cupcake game.
Yeah, I mean, still a lot of must-win games on the board in Week 13, but I think we're looking for. Obviously, don't want to speak on it too early, but it's going to be a heck of a finale in Week 14. So we'll save that for next episode. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into this bracket. I know for sure the top 4 we got Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Georgia. That's your top 4 right now. Obviously, all 4 teams still have conference championships left, which Ohio State and Indiana play each other. So one of those more than likely will fall out of that top 4. I guess
They
depending
might
on how
not.
that. Yeah, they might not. I mean, because if both of those teams are undefeated, so somebody's got to take a loss. So you can still be a top 4 team since it's just one loss.
Yeah, unless it was like a blowout.
Yeah. So
So it's Tulane, Texas Tech, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Miami, Ole Miss, Alabama, Oregon, and like you said, Georgia, Ohio State, A&M, and Indiana. I'm not gonna lie to you, Texas Tech will beat the brakes off of Tulane probably. I think Notre Dame they'd probably beat Oklahoma.
yeah, I think they would too.
Ole Miss they'd beat Miami. Alabama would probably beat Oregon.
I'm
So
not.
that
I think that.
means
I
that
think that
means
the Alabama Oregon game would probably be really really good.
I
I
don't think
think.
so.
I think strong think maybe.
And here it comes. I mean, Alabama, I think, would just be too physical for Oregon. I mean, I think it'd be a decent game, but I could see Alabama pulling away just a tad. But then again,
Yeah.
then they got to go. Then they got to go to Because Alabama, no, Oregon does get home field advantage, so that could, yeah. It's going to be cold in Oregon and Eugene. Alabama does have to travel to Oregon if this stays the same, because the lower seed gets home field advantage. So that's tough. That'd be tough because a lot of these kids, they don't play in the snow and where it's 12 degrees, and they ain't never played in nothing like that. They don't get cold down here in the South like that.
Not until January.
So it's a different kind of cold up there, I'm sure, and that's a
Oh
long way
yeah,
to travel
absolutely.
too. That's across the country.
Oh yeah.
Um, Again, I think Alabama would win that game. Um, so that would mean Alabama would play Indiana. However, if this stays the same, the top four is going to be pretty tough to get through. Which the A&M Georgia, because I think they said that they were going to play in the SEC title game. So either if Georgia loses that, they'll fall out of the top four. They should.
Yeah.
But then I don't know who you put there.
I don't know. I
Maybe
mean,
Texas
it's
Tech because they are the fifth seed.
yeah. I mean, if one of those top four falls out, then Texas Tech, like let's say they win or whatever, then they slide up. That's really normally how it works a lot of times because
Because they've already beat the brakes off BYU, and that's about the only real competition that they really have.
yeah. So
Now they may have to play them again in the what are they? Whatever their championship is.
um, I mean, I'll say this about the bracket. However the bracket finishes, there's always going to be a more favorable part to the bracket. Like if you look at last year, Notre Dame got a favorable part of the bracket because
On
they
this time,
played.
they go play Ohio State right off the rip if they beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, so I mean, if you think about it, you want a more favorable part of the bracket to be in. I mean, that's just how playoffs are. You can pinpoint certain teams like, I'd rather play them. I'd rather play like
Well, last year Georgia went into the number 4 seed with a banged up quarter. Carson Beck didn't even play. Boise
exactly,
was terrible,
exactly.
and then it was Ohio State. Who was the other one?
So I know in the semis on the top half of the bracket, it was Ohio State and Texas that made it to the semis. And the bottom half of the bracket, it was Notre Dame and Penn State,
No,
which
who
I
no
felt
who was in the quarterfinals? Who had the bye? It was Georgia, Ohio State
oh
got beat by
Georgia,
Michigan.
Ohio State, Boise State, and Arizona State.
Oh, that's right. And yeah, so again, two of those teams were kind of yeah. So this year you got to play. It's Georgia, Ohio State, A&M, and Indiana. So that's not good. Those are four tough teams. Either way, it ain't really favorable for you.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one, I think I'd want to play A&M. Maybe Georgia. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah,
Ohio State and Indiana look pretty good, but Ohio State hasn't played anybody. So maybe you could come in there and punch them in the mouth. They got punched in the mouth sometimes last year. Oregon beat them because
Michigan beat them
time expired, and then Michigan beat them.
at the
So
end
they
of the
got punched
season.
in the mouth. They really haven't had any competition. They don't even know if they've had a close game, have they?
Yeah, and see, they had to play from the first round all the way up too, so they hit that stride and just kind of
Yeah, they
ran with
blew
it.
out their first two opponents by 20 points. But anyway, so out of the bracket right now, we have some plays, some teams, and get shuffled around. So who do you think I mean, aside from Alabama, who do you think could make it to the national championship? Like as of right now.
Mm, I'd probably throw some money on Ole Miss. I can't lie to you. I mean, they're one of the healthier teams. Everybody's intact. I mean, they got a really good offense.
Yeah.
Defense is pretty good. I
Yeah, they're probably the most well-rounded team. Like you said, their run game with T1 Lacey is. I mean, he scored like 20 touchdowns and like 1,400 yards. So they just
and
got pretty much everything you would want. It's just, can you trust Ole Miss? They tend to
yes,
get in the spotlight and they kind of fold a little.
yeah, you're right about that. That is a good
Plus, a
point.
lot of the speculation with Lane Kiffin, what's he doing? There was speculation of the ultimatum. They got to let him know. He's got to let them know that if he's coming back, blah blah blah. Is your coach leaving? You know, there's a bunch of schools he could go to. So obviously, winning the national championship, he's not going anywhere. I wouldn't think so. Imagine he wins the national championship and then leaves, like Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I may have to pick A&M. I mean, they got a good team. They've rallied back again. I put them in the same spot as Ole Miss. When them lights hit them, they tend to fold sometimes. They did it last year. It looks pretty good, and then they got beat by some. They'll get beat by somebody they shouldn't. Wouldn't be shocked if it was Texas.
Are we SEC biased?
I don't think so. I mean, I
I'm
think. I
not
mean,
saying I'm not saying we are. I'm just I
I
mean because
mean, I
like
mean, I was gonna say I want to say Indiana, but again, you see, I don't.
there's
This
more
is gonna sound
competition.
SEC. This is gonna sound SEC bias for sure. But when you go into these games, I mean, it's kind of hard to pick teams that don't play anybody. Yeah, they beat
Yeah,
Oregon, but who else have they played? They
exactly.
ain't played nobody else. It's hard for me to pick. I'm not picking Tulane. Texas Tech's going to beat them by 40.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to pick Ohio State and Indiana. They haven't played anybody. Yeah, you got the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback probably, but Ty Simpson would probably win the Heisman in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
They don't play anybody. Alabama beat four top 10 teams 4 weeks in a row. Or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever.
It was 4.
Georgia's been on almost the same path. I don't know. I think we are a little bit, but I'm not picking Notre Dame. They get there, but they can never win.
Oh, well,
They've
look,
been here. They've been here 100 times.
I'll just
Oklahoma doesn't have the offense.
I
Miami, I don't know if they're well rounded enough to beat Ole Miss. And again, Oregon, I don't know. They got beat by Indiana, and Oregon really hadn't played anybody else. They play
I'll
USC Saturday, so that could throw a monkey wrench in them if they get beat.
I'll just say it out loud. I probably am a little more SEC biased, but I only say that because I mean, if you look around the SEC, I mean, you see how many teams are ranked in the top 25. You see who they have to play every week. I mean, they're not playing slouches.
Out of the 12 teams, almost half of them are SEC teams. I mean, there's five of them. There's two of them sitting on the outside looking in, probably, I think. Vandy, you have Vandy sitting there. And that might be it. But, well, Texas just got beat, so. Notre Dame's not even in a conference, so they're going to make it every year because their competition's kind of. I mean, they have lost twice, but I mean, their competition's just not. It's just really not there. And then you get these hot teams like Texas Tech. They're just a hot team. They're going to be a tough team to beat. Tulane, you just have to throw them in there in the group of five, so you don't have choice. Oklahoma, they beat Alabama. That's why they're sitting here. And they've only lost twice. I just don't think Oklahoma has the offense. Miami, I just don't know if I trust Carson Beck.
Yeah,
Ole Miss again. They're one of them teams that here's where you're going to see what Lane Kiffin's about because this year is totally different than anything he's ever done. They're not going for it on fourth down every play. They're not doing stupid plays. They're not doing anything crazy. Alabama, again, I mean, they have struggled this year in some of their games. So Oregon's not going to be a slouch. That's not what I meant.
yeah,
It's just, Alabama has faced adversity where Oregon, they've kind of cruised through their season because they've been blowing people. They just beat whoever they beat Saturday by 30 plus points. So I mean, yeah, I think we are a little bit, but it's hard not to be when you're the best conference in football.
yeah. I mean, you heard me say it time and again. I mean, SEC is like the best conference in college football, and there's no debate about it. I mean, if you look at a lot of the other conferences around the map, the Big Ten, again, it's top heavy year in and year out. You got Michigan, you got Ohio State. Penn State was not really in that conversation, but they just made themselves look good enough to be. You
Yeah,
had Washington.
Oregon. Yeah, Oregon just
Well,
joined the
well,
Big Ten, so
yeah, I was going to say that they were Pac-12, and even with the Pac-12, again, it was mainly Oregon. So if you look at the ACC, for a while it was really just Clemson, and then Miami here and there they looked okay, but I mean, again, another conference where it's mainly just one or two teams. In the SEC, you got plenty of teams,
yeah,
especially in the last 20 years. I mean, think about it: Florida, Bama, LSU, Georgia. I mean, heck, even
Auburn.
Tennessee in
They
the
won a
early
national
2000s.
championship.
Yeah, Auburn, but they uh, it's probably the Alabama fan in me, but they teeter on the conversation. They're good though. I'll give it to them. I'll give it to
They won a
them.
national championship. They've been to two.
Who
I mean, yeah, I mean,
obviously we're leaving some teams out. I wasn't really trying to go through everybody, but y'all see the point we're trying to make. Definitely got off on a tangent here, but that was pretty much all I had about the bracket. You got anything else?
not that. I'm trying to see who's out. Okay, so the first team out is Vandy.
Okay.
Vandy jumped ahead, 3 lost, despite Texas. I'm trying to see, like, okay, so Vandy needs a lot to happen, apparently. They have to beat Kentucky and beat Tennessee, and then they need Alabama to lose to Auburn, Miami to lose to Pitt, and BYU to lose to Cincinnati for them to make the playoffs.
That's a lot.
I'm
That's a
just going to
lot.
keep it real with you. That's probably not going to happen. It could, though. Could.
It is a possibility. Anything is possible. Word to Kevin Garnett.
The first team out in the Big Ten was USC, but they played Oregon Saturday. So
Got a lot to play for right there. I mean, that kind of puts you in the playoffs if you beat them.
Texas Tech already they clobbered BYU, so they may have to play each other again in the Big 12 championship. ACC, it's all over the place. That's shuffled week in, week out.
Yeah.
Independent, that's just Notre Dame. The group of five, it's just Tulane.
I'm still
In the
standing on the hill that Notre Dame needs to join the conference because I feel like it's kind of cheap that they get to play a weak schedule every year and make the playoffs.
in the group of five, Tulane. In the mix is James Madison and North Texas. Their schedules are pretty bad.
Yeah.
And Navy, but Notre Dame beat the brakes off Navy. So, but I'm with you. I think Notre Dame should be in a conference. I was really surprised. Well, I'm not surprised, but I'm kind of curious to know why they won. Is it just because? Well, why would you? You don't have to worry about playing a conference game or a championship game. You just beat who you got to beat, and there you go. But I think that's what hinders them a lot of the time because you see they've been in the Notre Dame's been in the spotlight. What? How many times have they been in the spotlight? About every year because they don't play anymore. But when they get there, now last year they had a very good team. they just didn't really have enough to beat Ohio State. I think they could have.
I I think they were good, but I don't think they were that
They just
good though.
weren't good enough.
I think they just got that favorable part of the bracket because remember they played Georgia with a backup
Their
quarterback.
their defense is pretty good now. Hold on now. Man, they gave Ohio State a pretty decent game.
Yeah, but Ohio State really could have put up like 50 on them if they wanted to. Let's be
Um,
honest.
but again, it's that part. They get into the spotlight and they're just not really. I wouldn't say ready. Maybe they just haven't really been battle tested.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's basically all about. I don't remember too.
Nah, you good. That's pretty much it for
Boomer
me.
Sanders,
All right.
War Eagle.
if you made it to the end of the episode based on this week's bracket, let us know who you think would win the
Be one
championship.
Saturday. That's all that matters. We're
LS
gonna.
who
Don't worry. We can beat. We'll show y'all how to beat Oklahoma.
win next year?
No, next Saturday. Or 2 weeks from now. We'll show y'all how to beat Oklahoma.
Well, we'll see about that. But on that note, we're gonna get out of here. We'll see y'all in the next episode.